Morning everyone, welcome back to Coding Hives. This is Rasina with you. Hope you all are doing good. In today's video, we are going to learn the fundamental concept in Python, that is scope. We are going to understand scope using some simple examples. In programming, scope refers to the region of a program where a variable is defined and accessible. So in Python, the scope determines the visibility of variables and how long they exist in our program. So there are mainly 5 types of scope in Python. They are local, enclosing, global, built-in, and non-local. So I will explain each one with some examples so that you will get a better clarity about this scope. Okay. So first we are going to learn about local scope. So what is meant by this local scope is a variable defined inside a function is in the local scope. Okay, a variable defined inside a function is, we can say it is in local scope. So this means that it can only be accessed within that function. Okay, so I will write a function here, def my function, and here inside that I am declaring a variable, that is local variable. Okay, and I'm declaring something like I can write something, I am local. Okay, so this is a local variable and I can print this thing here, right? So when I'm coming outside of this function, I can call this function, right? So I can call this function my function. You can see you are getting the output like I am local, right? So we'll get some error. You can see local var is not defined because this scope is inside this function only, that is, this is locally scoped. Okay, this variable is locally scoped. Clear? So here local var is defined inside my function. It can be accessed and printed inside the function only. But if you try to print it outside the function, you will get an error because it is not defined in that scope. Clear? So this is local scope. Now we are going to understand what is meant by global scope. In a global scope, a variable defined outside of all functions is in the global scope. Okay, outside of all function will be in this global scope. This means that it can be accessed anywhere in the module. Okay, so I will explain that also here using some example, like a variable. I'm using global variable equal to, I am giving a content something like I am global. Okay, now I will declare another function. We will go another name, like another function itself. Okay, now I can print this global variable here, right? Variable. Okay, we defined this global variable outside the function. So by the definition, we learned that we can access this global variable anywhere in any module. Okay, so I'm going to call this function. I can call this function like another function, just like I'm calling. So you can see we are getting this content here, like I am global. Clear? Also, I will try to print this here outside the function. We will try this. So print global variable. It will work here, right? Because we can access it anywhere. Okay. So that is the working of this global variable or global scope. So global variable is defined outside this function. So it can be accessed both inside another function and outside. So it retains its value throughout the module. Okay. Now we will go for next one, that is enclosing scope. Enclosing scope. In this enclosing scope means it refers to a variable defined in the enclosing function of a nested function. So this scope allows inner functions to access variables from their outer functions. I will write an example so that you will get a clarity what this means. So here I am writing one outer function first. This is my outer function. Okay. So in this I'm declaring a variable, that is my enclosing variable. Okay. I'm declaring a variable like I am enclosing. Okay, this is my enclosing variable, and inside this outer function there is another function, that is one inner function. Okay, inner function, and here I am going to access this enclosing variable. Okay, clear? And I'm trying to print this inner function. Okay, so I am calling this inner function inside the scope of outer function. Clear? So now I am coming outside of the functions, I mean outside of the outer function. So from that, here I am calling this outer function. We'll check what is going to happen. Yeah, we got the output as I am enclosing. Okay, so here enclosing scope means we have an outer function and we declared a variable in the outer function. Okay, so the variable name is enclosing var. So inside this outer function we have an inner function. So we are accessing the variable which is defined in this outer function in this inner function. Okay, and in the outer function itself we are calling the inner function. Clear? So when I am going to call this outer function, we will get the output as we needed. Clear? So here in this example, enclosing var is defined in outer function and inner function can access it because of the enclosing scope. Okay, so the output will be I am enclosing. Clear? Now I will explain another one scope, that is built-in scope. Built-in scope. This built-in scope contains names that are predefined in Python, like functions and exceptions. These are always available, right? I will give you an example. This one we all know, but we don't know this is under the category of built-in scope. That is the thing. Here we are using this function length, okay? And here I'm using hello, okay? So here when I'm going to run this, you will get the length of. In this example, this length is a built-in function that calculates the length of a string. So you can use built-in names anywhere in your code, right? So this is an example of built-in scope. Clear? Now the last one I will explain, that is non-local. Non-local. Okay. Non-local keyword allows to assign a value to a variable in an enclosing scope that is not global. So this is particularly useful when you have nested functions and want to modify a variable from an outer function. Okay, in that case we can use this non-local thing. I will explain that with an example. For example, I have a outer function. I have a outer function, and inside that I have a variable. Okay, I have a variable outer var that will be 0. Then inside that I have an inner function, and there I am declaring a variable as non-local outer var, the same variable I am using here. So here we declare that we want to use the variable from the enclosing scope. That means we want to use this outer var here. Okay, that is the meaning of this thing. So we can update this here. So I am going to update this by 1. I mean increment it by 1. Okay, and now I am going to print this thing outer var. Okay, so now I'm coming outside of this inner function, and so now we are in the outer function, right? So now I'm going to call this inner function from this outer function, and I'm again trying to call this. So I need to check like the changes like incrementing like that is happening. Now I will call this function from here. You can see what is we are getting output. In this example, outer var is defined in an outer function. Okay, so by using non-local, we can modify its value within inner function. So if you want to modify some variables which are declared in the outer function, we can use non-local. Okay. So by using this non-local, we can modify its value within this inner function each time we call inner function. So the value of outer var increases. So that's it for today's video. I hope you got a clarity about these four types of scope in Python. And if you have any doubts or any queries, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.